Emery, how familiar are you with the Hampton Norfolk State rivalry? Since you literally went to high school up the street in Phoenix. Yeah. Are you familiar with it? What do you know about it?
I know it's a bragging right thing for people from Hampton or from Norfolk. I know just the community I've grown up in. They even take it seriously. Like all the Hampton alumni, they're texting the NSU alumni, texting them, being like, "Hey, it's the week. You know what's going to happen." And the energy in Hampton is unbeatable for this game. It's like on Saturday, it's a packed out. It's going to be packed in Hampton, and I love that energy. I think it brings a lot of good stuff to Hampton. And I'm very familiar with it. It's electric time.
You guys obviously are kind of on similar trajectories here. Both 1-4, both kind of looking for a spark. How do you guys look at this game in terms of just being able to kind of get on the right foot here with the bulk of the conference schedule still in front of you?
I think the biggest thing we see, and Coach Boykin teaches us every day, it's the next game. And I think we can't get too big heads and think of it as the Battle of the Bay game. We have to see this as the next game to continue to get better and, be 1-0 every week. And I feel like that's the biggest thing for us right now is just to focus on that and to get back on our feet. And because we have the capability, we can do this. And I think that's the biggest thing for us is just getting in that mindset, winning every week.
And then a quick follow-up for you, Emery. Michael, they've obviously gotten a lot of attention with Michael Vick being their head coach. Does that add any juice for you guys being able to knock off Michael Vick's team, or is that not really anything that really enters your mind?
Coming from the way I play football, no, it does not enter my mind. It's every other game. Yes, it's going to be packed out. It's going to be big, but at the end of the day, we're going to be on the field playing the football game. He's going to be on the side. So I want to be the main attraction. I want to put that on the field for them and give them the show that they want. So yes, in that case, yes, but at the end of the day, it's another game. It's just another game for us.
You guys obviously not started off the way you wanted to, but is there like a feeling in the locker room like we're close, even though it's not resulted in W's yet, but is there a feeling of, we're close to where we can turn these into wins?
Yes. That's the biggest thing. Like, every time after every game, it's the biggest thing for us is we're right there. And, especially last week, we showed like we have a lot of, I think every week for me, we show we have a lot of potential. And that's the biggest thing in the locker room with the guys right now is like, we have the capability. We can do this. And so, that is a big thing right now is we do have, it's in everybody's mind for sure on the team. Like, we know we can do this. We just got to put these pieces together and get it done at this point.
And a quick follow-up from a player's perspective, what are, I guess, I kind of always ask but I feel like it's changed from week to week. What do you feel like that's those little changes that can impact whether it's a loss or a win for you guys, given that you're so close?
I think the biggest thing for us is the energy factors. Is the whole team coming together as one. I think that right there is like that's the main thing is the energy for me, or I think for the team right now is we need that winning mindset, that winning energy. And I think when you put that winning energy in the field or into play or in your brain, that's when stuff starts to reduce and it's going to take off. We're going to take off from there, I'm telling you.
Do you feel that not much needs to be said in a game of this magnitude? And also, do you almost feel like this is a turning point in your season?
I wouldn't say that this is I want to say this is a turning point in the season due to the game. But if we do win this game, or when we do win this game, sorry about that. When we do win this game and when we show everybody what we are capable of, I think it will be a big turning point in mindsets in the community. Like, I feel like this will be the game that will pop out and change some people's minds.
Do you also feel that nothing needs to really be said to get up for something like this?
What do you mean by that? Sorry about
just
that.
Just the fact, no, it's okay. Just the fact that this is Hampton, Norfolk State. You don't need to get up for this. Because Because sometimes certain games, you don't even say much. You know what's involved.
Oh, yeah.
You know that sort of thing. Do you feel like nothing really needs to be said for something like this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's gonna be a ball game. I agree. I understand what you're saying now. Yes, I do understand. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games where I think at the end of the day that it's gonna be two teams batting heads. It's the battle of the bays. So it's gonna be a show.
I have a question. As a former player, we always circle this game as probably our biggest game on the season, other than some type of championship game. Tell us about the morale going into this game, coming off the last 3 weeks. How tough has it been to go out and practice and prepare, especially for a game as big as this one would be?
I know from my position group as the O-line, we're going out with it for every week the same, trying to get better every single week. And no matter what's going on with the season or what's going on with with our schedule right now or our season, how it's going, I think that in the locker room, everybody's just showing up day by day, and we're putting it all together, and we're doing this thing. And no matter the outcome of what's going on, that's one thing. That's a big thing for me right now. Is I see like the team coming together and just showing up every day and fighting and just getting this done this week. You're right. It's a big game this week, and I think we're prepared. I think we're getting prepared for it.
All right. Any more questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks, Emery. Appreciate you, man. Good luck to you guys.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
All right. At this time, we got head coach Trenton Boykin for you guys. Start off with the opening statement from Coach, and then we'll open the floor up for questions.
Just kind of a review over last week. Again, those guys, I was proud of how they came out in the second half and fought. The energy in the locker room was great. Everybody was ready to go, and you could see that in the second half. Sideline, everybody was in it. We were our biggest cheerleaders when the offense was on the field. Defense is cheering. Defense is on the field. The offensive players are cheering. The energy was where you want to see it on the sideline. We just have to find a way to get rid of these unnecessary and off-schedule penalties. We had a chance. We were up 20-17 and had a chance to go up 27-17. And, we get a holding call by our wide receiver that neglects the touchdown run. And so that's a penalty. Then you get another penalty, and then you're out of field goal range, and then you throw a pick, and so you don't get a chance to capitalize on that opportunity. And so it's my responsibility and to get these guys to understand that we have to eliminate these unnecessary penalties at crucial times that give us a chance to really make a big statement, and we're not capitalizing when we have that opportunity.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this. What's the Battle of the Bay mean inside your locker room to you guys?
A lot. It's something that our guys, is the same as put the team up north. It's something that our guys know about from right after the game is over. We always have something that our guys have to remind them for 364 days what this game means.
And then following up, they've gotten a lot of attention, obviously, with Michael Vick being their new head coach, everything like that. Do you guys draw anything off that about one, being able to knock off his team, or two, maybe reminding everybody else through your play that there's another 7-5-7 team here? Do you guys draw off that at all, or is that something you really don't pay too much attention to?
I let everybody in the community talk about it. You hear it in the barber shop, you hear it at Walmart, you hear it at Dunkin' Donuts, you hear it at the car wash, you hear it, and it's something that you hear. But at the end of the day, we know we have to just strap up and play, and I understand it. I mean, he was a great player, great player in this area in high school, great player down the road at Virginia Tech, great player at the pro level, and so I get that and understand that. But like you said, yeah, there is another team here in the 757 that plays good football, and so we're going to do our part to make sure that on Saturday at 4:00 we're ready to go.
With that said, do you feel like you really don't have to say much for a game like this to get your team up for a game like this?
No, I mean you let them know about it. We talked about it. This rivalry started in 1963. We understand that the Battle of the Bay it's the James River and the Chesapeake Bay. We understand that right now the record is 30-29-1 in their favor, and so we know what the history of this rivalry is about. So our guys know. It's not like they don't know. It's not like they don't understand. But at the same time, yeah, you don't have to talk a lot about it, because you understand it doesn't matter, where you go in this area. They've been talking about this, since they hired him. And so, like I said, it didn't matter from as soon as they hired him, and I went somewhere and I had my HU on, and, they asked, how are you guys going to play against, Vic? And so, I just say, hey, we'll do the best that we can.
How would you describe the atmosphere of a game like this in terms of like visuals, energy, etc.?
Oh, it's going to be lively. I'm sure it'll be a packed house. Everybody's going to be here. We have 40. I think we got 40 recruits that are going to be here on campus this weekend. So. We've got guys, every guy that we've offered in this area, from the Virginia Beach area to Richmond area to right here in our own backyard. Like I said, we already got 8 or 9, I think 9 guys verbally committed to us that are, from the VA area, from the 757 Tidewater area. And so they're here, and like I said, you got another 30, 35 that want to be here to see the game and see the atmosphere. And so we understand what this brings, with a game like this, and 2 teams right here recruiting a lot of the same local talent, what that means to get this win on Saturday, what it does for your program.
Kind of feels like both programs are almost going on parallels at the moment. Both 1-4, going on 3-game losing streaks. Does this game feel like it's almost pivotal, or kind of turning the season around? Where do you stand on that, especially when it comes to that?
For me, you got to just play this game. I don't want to get caught up into, pivotal, or it ends you or breaks you and all that. Like you just prepare for this game. Like what do they do on offense? What do they do on defense? What do they do on special teams? And you focus on that. You don't get caught up in all the other hoopla. You can't, because then you're taken away from yourself preparing these players to be at their best. So, I think everybody understands that there's things that you don't have to talk about. You just know, and you just go and prepare and have your guys ready to play on Saturday.
Coach, before the last home game, I asked you a lot about your quarterback room, and at that point you had 2 quarterbacks that you were really confident in, and there's a different starter now, or there was last game. Can you tell me where you are with your quarterback decision and who will be playing this weekend? Braden played fairly well, pretty well, for his first start
last week. He did some good things that we feel like we can capitalize on. But we're always going to have two quarterbacks prepared to go. I'm never going to just go out and flat out right now and say, hey, this is the main guy. But I'm happy to see where Braden is at and what he's doing, and getting a lot of reps again this week. But we'll always have two guys ready, and you know me, I'm always have a couple of things up my sleeve to be prepared for every single game.
What would you say the bread and butter is of your offense?
Right now, you saw that this past weekend where we were able to distribute the ball to our playmakers. And that's the one thing that, as a staff, we really have sat down offensively and said, hey, we got to find a way to get the ball in the guys' hands that make plays for us. And I think that's where you saw last week where we had some more explosive plays. We had more guys being involved. And when you can distribute the ball to 5 and 6 different people on offense, it makes teams have to respect the whole length of the field. Defensively, you saw us come up with some good sacks and some turnovers with some different looks. And so, again, on that side of the ball, we're finding ways to find the right people and the right fit for what we want to do in certain packages. And so I think you saw that. You started to see a glimpse of kind of where we're starting to evolve offensively and defensively.
You talked about getting the ball into your playmakers' hands more, being your bread and butter. Will we see Snipes have an opportunity to get back in the mix?
We'll see. He's still right now, not playing. Again, every week we're working to get guys back on the field. So if he's available to play, then of course he is one of those guys that you would like to see the ball in his hands. So, the guys that we have available and the guys that we know that can help us win games offensively, those are the guys that will get the ball in the hands. And same thing defensively, those guys that we have available, we'll find a way to get them to rush the passer or to cover a guy and get the best 11 on the field on both sides of the ball.
If you haven't had the chance to get in the W or haven't been able to get in the W column recently, do you feel like this team is close? Like, each and every week to getting where you want to go? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you come in with the mindset that, they're growing each week. Again, it's a new team from a year ago. And so you see the growth in the team. Sometimes it's faster than other times, but yes, you do. You see guys growing. You see guys maturing. You see guys, the light bulbs start to click on. You see some of these young guys starting to understand the speed and the tempo of a college game. So, yeah, every week you see it. It's now, like I said, it's just time to put it all together. We've been playing in spurts. We've been playing in bits and pieces. We've been not playing at all. And so, you go in every week saying, hey, this is a new opportunity for us to showcase the things that we know that's already here and inside of you. Let's put it all together, all 3 groups for 4 quarters.
Coach, we know how important this game is, and obviously we've heard everyone ask those type of questions. The one thing that concerned me the most in watching Norfolk State or their team across the water, offensively, even though they are 1-4, they can move the football and they can put points on the board. Talk about when you watch them on tape, what concerns you the most?
Their quarterback is starting to settle in. He wasn't the starter at the beginning of the year. He kind of didn't play and then kind of started to play. And now he's got, some games under his belt where he's been the starter. And so you can see him starting to really understand the scheme of what they're trying to do offensively. Running back wise, they got number 5 over there who, he can run the ball. So they've got a receiver. So the quarterback, the running back, and the receiver, they give you problems. And so, like I said, the biggest thing when I watch the film that you really start to see is their quarterback really starting to understand their offensive system and how it goes. And so, that's where you have to do a great job because he's starting to feel comfortable. You can see the first time he started to play, he wasn't as comfortable because he was still learning the system, still learning, the guys that he was playing with. And you're starting to see him get more comfortable as the year goes on because, he is the guy there now.
Would you say that kind of mirrors kind of what's going on with your offense right now, where someone else was starting initially and now Braden is starting?
I would say so. Again, when you get a chance to have the rapport with the offense, have the rapport with the receivers, understand, who runs what, who runs fastest, whose catch radius is where. When you start to get that feeling, you feel better. And then as you start to understand the offense and understand, okay, this is the hot throw, this is who's blitzing, this is what's going on. Yeah, you start to have a better grasp of where the ball should go, what you should do, and this look compared to this look, man, we didn't prepare for them to be in this front, but because I played last week, I saw that coverage already, so I know how to make those adjustments in this game. All that stuff is vital when you start getting multiple starts and multiple playing time.
Do you feel like there are necessary adjustments to be made or that need to happen after the 1-4 start, or are you kind of just sticking to your guns? What
Adjustment in what way?
It could be anything, honestly. It could be personnel, execution, preparation, anything. Just any type of technique.
I would say change. I think at this point, you know what guys can make plays for you offensively. What guys defensively, can rush the passer or play better press man or play better zone. So it's not so much of changing anything, is understanding, at this point, what you have, what your guys can and cannot do. And then as a coaching staff, you make those adjustments. You can't be bullheaded and say, hey, we're going to stick with this system. If this guy just does this better, then let's find a way to enhance his play by doing what he can do best. So that part, is that I wouldn't call it so much changing. It's just evolving into what you have and what you're trying to get accomplished.
All right, any more questions? All right, thank you guys.
Hey, thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.